It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level and become who you are truly destined to become? Decide, commit, execute. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live.
All right, here we go. Check, 1, 2. We are back. It is Mauricio Mejia Live, season number 2, episode number 18. Just came off of a break. Last week, we took the week off. Wanted to just refocus. It was a short week last week because of Memorial Day weekend. And we just decided, you know what? We're going to take a break and we're going to come back strong. And we decided, well, it's been in the planning. But this week's guest, very special guest, very good friend of mine, and a big boss lady from here, Silicon Valley. I'm going to be super excited to have her on the show. But before that, I want to just, again, get us reacquainted. It's Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East. And I want to say what's up to all my friends out in the East Coast. What's up to the EDST team, our marketing team, to my boy Jacob, Big Juicy in the house. What's up, man? Coming from Detroit tomorrow. He's going to be coming out to California. Learn some of that Silicon Valley money, big money. Looking forward to having him here and working with him this entire weekend on my new marketing strategies that I've done with my Instagram, my Facebook, and all of my social media platforms. My stuff has blown up, and it takes a team to make things happen. So again, we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. That's right. We're doing 3 platforms. It's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And we're broadcasting live from our studios here in Silicon Valley, downtown San Jose. And so far this season, we've had some great business entrepreneurs, some real estate moguls, some political leaders, stock advisors, some crypto, and now binary options. I've learned that new term because I'm now playing in that game. Got a great team. I got to give a shout out to my boy Ernesto Javier and Ricky Cucalon from South America. My boy, straight off the hooks. What a great team. And looking forward to this weekend. We're kicking off our Money Mastery seminars starting at 5:30 on Saturdays. And that's how we do it. Entrepreneurship to the fullest. So I'm looking forward to making it happen. Again, we want to keep it fresh. We want to bring a bunch of different entrepreneurs, different business people, different people from different lanes. And tonight, again, I'm excited to be bringing this very special guest and good friend of mine. But before we get into that, we want to get into our hot topic of the week, and that is that's right. California is opening up. It's reopening its doors next week on June 15th. We're making it happen. It is going down here in all of California. We're reopening up our economy and opening up things, and we're going back to the new normal, I guess. So we're going to figure that one out and see what how things are going to develop as we all move forward in this new normal. So anyhow, I just again very excited. I want to thank everyone for welcoming back. All the people, make sure to drop a comment. What's up, Ruben Holmes? Visiting us this evening. Henry Chu, always, man, thank you so much. Super excited about all the different things that are coming about and moving forward. And again, very excited about my special guest tonight. It is my pleasure to have tonight the one and only Shareen Rivera. She's a ghostwriter, publisher, and my very own ghostwriter and publisher of my book, Smoke and Mirror, and publisher of Decide, Commit, Execute, which, by the way, are available on Amazon. So make sure to check it out. Go to Amazon.com, plug in Mauricio Mejia, and you will find 2 of the hottest books in the world, in the planet. That's right. Smoke and Mirrors is the autobiography of me. And it is Decide, Commit, Execute is my entrepreneur's quick guide to success. Well, success is in my own interpretation of it. Shareen is a very impactful, transformational keynote speaker, founder of Rising Above Publishing Services and her TV show. She's published some best-selling. She's a bestseller author. She's obviously has published some best-selling books, and we're going to talk about that. Ghostwriter and the TV show host of Rising Above. Again, it's an honor to have Shareen Rivera with us tonight. Shareen, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mauricio?
Good, good, good. So serious, huh? Huh?
I just want to thank you for, making the time to have me on. It's really an honor.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate you making the time. I know that you're a very busy boss lady. I know that your time is very valuable. So I appreciate you taking the time from your busy schedule to be here with me this evening. And
Of course.
And I'm looking forward to sharing your story with the world because I believe that your story is very important.
Thank you.
And that was part of the reason why we connected. I believe that things happen for a reason. There's no coincidence here, and
Divine synchronicity at its finest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I just got to say it was, and I get all nervous. I was like, wow. I just believe that things happen for a reason, and it was just such a great honor and pleasure working with you. And but before we get into what we did together, give us a little history about who you are and what got you into writing. I mean, it's just you got to have some serious patience and obviously a passion for what you do. So share with the world, Shareen, where did it all start?
So, before I'm a writer, I identify it as an empath more than a writer. And I always used to think that being an empath was a weakness. I didn't know I was an empath. I was just very sensitive to people's emotions and I could feel people at their core. And I used to let that feeling kind of like dictate decisions I made. And so, I came from, as an abusive marriage of 10 years that after I left, I was just really on this journey of healing. And that's where I connected to our mutual friend, Nancy. And I was publishing my book, or I had published my book, my poetry, telling my story. I had no intent of making a career of writing, had no intent of making money. I was giving my book away for free. I was just trying to help women that came from the same situation that I came from. And for those of you that don't know, Mauricio was the very first person that believed in me. And
Aww.
No, you were.
Thank
You're
you.
the first person that saw potential in me. It's something that I always say is that when you're the picture in the frame, you can't see yourself. Sometimes it takes somebody on the outside looking in to tell you what they see. And so Mauricio was that person for me, right? We connected through a mutual friend, and you were the first person that saw talent in me, and you made me believe in me. I didn't know that I had the ability to write someone's story. So it was through writing your book that I really was able to tap into my gift of being an empath and realizing that could help me write people's stories because I could feel their emotions. And so it helped me find my purpose.
It's really interesting to hear from the outside when someone says that, and I want to say thank you very much for saying that. That means a lot to me. Working with me was
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Mauricio. Are you serious?
No,
you helped me even find out that I could be a ghostwriter. I have written 17 books since you, but it's all started with you.
Wow. And
now
it's
think about that.
Wow. 17 books. I better start getting some royalties from that then. Man. All right, let me make note of that because we're gonna we'll follow up after this interview tonight. But I gotta say, it's first of all, everyone out there that's watching tonight, thank you for joining us. I know for a fact because I know I'm not. It's not going to be new to here tonight, but it's not easy working with me because I have a very high level of standards for myself. My work ethic is very, very high. and I know that I also have my hands in multiple things, and I'm always juggling different opportunities, different businesses, because obviously I play the game at a very high level. Share a little bit about what it was like working with me, because it took us 2 years to write my book. And
I'm just gonna say one thing, okay? I was not prepared. I've worked for attorneys all my life, but I was not prepared to work with somebody that had such high expectations of me, because I always have high expectations of myself. But you helped me learn how to raise my expectations of myself. I remember one day in particular, I don't even think I ever even told you this. One day in particular,
hey,
I picked you up.
Be careful what you say now. Be careful what you say.
One day in particular, I picked you up and you were like looking around my car. I'm like, what are you looking at? You're like, I have this thing where I expect people that I spend time with to keep their car in order, because my mentor told me that the way you keep your car is the way you keep your life. And that stuck with me. That really stuck with me, because even though I'm a single mom, I got everything in the world going on. I, until this day, always make sure, like, I try to keep my car in order. And so one thing that I found working with you, Mauricio, is that you always raise the bar to the next level, and you expect people to think bigger for themselves. And I appreciated that, even though, yeah, you're not a walk in the park, let's put it that way, but you learn, right? You learn about, not just about entrepreneurship, or it's about you hold the mirror up to people and make them look at themselves. And I can appreciate that.
And not a lot of people can accept that, and I'm glad that you accept it.
The truth is hard to face.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that out, and you just pointed that out, because you're right. Not only do I expect to have high level of standards for myself and everything that I do, because I've had to train myself. I've had to condition my mindset in order to get to where I'm at, and get through the things that I have been through. And I got to share with you, working with you, I'm glad that me coming at you very black and white, very strong, also allowed you to reflect and allowed you to become that strong.
Yeah.
You already have a strong mindset. You already have a strong personality, but just gave you that solidified that strong foundation that you had already been working on.
Because for me, I had never been surrounded by a strong entrepreneur before, and so you were really the first person that really took me into that world. And so, they say you are the 5 people that you associate with. You become those 5 people. And so, being mindful of the people you surround yourself with. And Mauricio is just, he has really high expectations, and I think it's a good thing.
And I appreciate that you point that out. And you took it like a champ. And part of the reason maybe why it took us 2 years to work on my book wasn't because of you. It was really because of me.
But just imagine where the book would have been if we finished it in the intended time frame. It wouldn't be what it is today.
No,
it would not be. There was so much that happened. You had learned so much. By the time we finished writing it, you were a completely different person.
Oh, I was. I mean, I remember when we started that book, started the book. By the way, I have a copy of it right here.
Show the world the book.
That's right.
That's right. This book is blood, tears, time. Like, people don't even know.
I got to tell you, that book, Smoke and Mirrors, was therapy for me for 2 years.
And that's what I try to tell people, Mauricio. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how therapeutic, like, okay, here's Mauricio, and he's a man that has been able to acquire a lot of success, make something out of pure nothing, okay, all of your life. But again, another person who has never experienced the feeling of liberation and release from owning their truth. So talk about how it was telling your story and owning your truth for the first time, because I don't think people understand the power in that.
Yeah. Well, it was, for me, it was you put the mirror back at me, and it was in order to put this book together, you were like, you got to dig deep, and we got to really come at this from the core and from the rawness.
Because remember,
And
you were just wanting to talk about like the surface level things. Like,
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it was for me, um it was tough. Even talking about it right now, it takes me into a place, into a mindset where I'm going to relive it right now. And I remember the first moment that you read the first chapter, from the moment you read the first line in my book, and when you read the first chapter, I remember I broke down. I broke down because the way that you designed the book, from what everything, all the information that you had gathered from me, we designed it. You designed it like a movie. I mean, we start chapter one as if we're in the middle of my life, and then we work backwards. And it worked out that was it hit the core. And when you hit the core from the gate, I remember that the rest of the chapters just started to flow, and we got deep into it. And the original unedited version of Smoke and Mirrors was fucking raw. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we kept it very raw, to the point that considering where I was, where I'm at, where I was at, where I was going, and where I'm at today in business, I wasn't really too sure if I really wanted to put all those details out. And I think when we
It's
talked about,
uncomfortable.
well, it is. I mean, once you put it out, you put it out. It's
Mm-hmm.
I
It forces you to put your back up against the wall and just own yourself.
right, right. So I think that when we did that, I realized that I'm like, wow, this is very powerful. And to put this out into the world, it's almost like, okay, I know what I wanted to do with my book. I wanted to create a bestseller. I wanted to we're going to turn this into a movie in the future. And I think that it's something that's going to inspire, it's going to motivate, it's going to wake up people when they get to see the not only read the book, but they get to see the movie, the visual, the vision that's going to be behind it. And I think that's part of the reason why we edited some of it out, because we'll leave it for Hollywood. We'll leave Hollywood.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know what? To be
No.
honest, like one thing I really admired, again, going back to speaking our truth, one thing I really admired about you is, and I feel like now I can appreciate it more since I've seen other people tell their story, but Hispanic men and men of color especially are not raised in a society that allows them to feel comfortable to feel their emotions and speak their truth. Hispanic men and men of color are raised to sweep everything under the rug and pretend like they're okay and be the man and just tough it out. You can't cry, you can't this, you can't that. So like when you were really opening up and being vulnerable, not just with me, but knowing that you're going to release that out to the world, that was like a next level of strength. And I think that's where true healing and true liberation starts, because I could see as we were writing the book how you gain clarity from that. And I think a lot of Hispanic men and men of color can just kind of like see that and appreciate it even more.
Yeah, and you may be right. I mean, I just know that growing up the way that I grew up, with a single mom, younger
Mm-hmm.
sister, in the streets of LA, it just the and what I was exposed to at a very young age, the traumas that we go through at a very young age, because everyone has traumas in their life. We all have to deal with traumas. And I think that as adults, part of the reason why we function the way that we do as adults, whether it's good or bad, it all goes back to our upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Our
for some of
childhood.
us, yeah, our childhood. So for me, it was it was a very uh going, I mean, I don't want to give out too many details. I want to leave it to people to go out and get the book, make sure to pick it up on Amazon. um it talked about the traumas that I went to at a very young age. Interestingly enough, my mom was in town for Mother's Day weekend, and I gave her a copy of my book, and my mom was
What
sitting
did she
here.
say about it?
So I'm going to share with you. So she was sitting with here, and she's reading the book, and she starts laughing out loud in the first couple of chapters, and she starts remembering all the shenanigans, me as a child. And then she had asked me as well. She didn't realize certain things had happened to me at a very young age, and this was the first time that my mother was now being exposed to
Mm.
some of my childhood.
To understand your truth.
Right, and she didn't know that I had a babysitter that when I was a kid, was taking advantage of me. I mean, at a young that young of an age, I didn't. I just didn't. I kind of understood what I was doing, but I didn't. I protected myself that I didn't
There's
feel
no
that.
way for you to understand the effect it would have on you throughout your whole
Correct.
life.
Correct. So, but I carried it on, and then I think again when we wrote the book, every chapter was a therapy session for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to the point where we stopped, and we stopped for a long time, and we put the book on hold for probably about a good 6
Year.
months.
I think it was a year.
Yeah, and then we finally picked up the speed, and we wrapped it up. At that time, we had already done, I was already doing speaking engagements. I was working with Steadman at the time, which, by the way, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about your connection with Steadman.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, we'll get back to my book. This is really about you. I mean, obviously, I want to share with the world what it's like to work with you. And I know
this is what we talk about, divine synchronicity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you helped me do this, but I feel like I was brought into your life to plant that seed.
So it all worked out. When we first met, I remember that you had mentioned something about, you wanted to meet Oprah and you wanted to get your book.
We were at a dinner. We were at the birthday dinner for, anyways, we were at a birthday dinner, and I'm telling the lady what my dream is. And my dream is for my book to be on Oprah's book club. And she was like, oh, that's great. I was like, no, it is going to happen. And I was just do you remember that? I was so steadfast in that. Like, I acted like, who is this woman to be talking like this? I was like, oh, but it is. I am going to be on Oprah's book club list. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember that. And then I think a couple of days later after that, I remember I got an invitation for the one of the foundations here in San Jose. And I remember the keynote speaker was Steadman Graham. And we had just talked about that. And so then I called the organization because I knew some of the people that were involved in it. And I remember calling them saying, hey, is there any tickets available? And they're like, yeah, there's some tickets. I think there's only a few tickets left. I remember calling you saying, hey, you want to make that dream come true? I think I can get us some tickets to go to this dinner fundraiser. And it was here in San Jose at the Club Autosport. I remember that. And I remember that actually it was pretty challenging to get those tickets, but I ended up getting
last minute too.
The last two and the last two tickets of the event. And we were able to score tickets for that. And that was the first evening that we got to meet Steadman Graham. Crazy, because then after that is when I reconnected with Ray Reese, who is now my mentor. I mean, and then Ray tells me, hey, by the way, oh, well, that's not by the way. He goes, oh, I have a working relationship with Steadman. And then I remember one day, and I just let it go. I just didn't think much about it. And I remember one day he calls me and he says, hey, Mauricio, I need some help with something. And I know the only person I can think of is you. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, I have Steadman coming into town to doing a special private event. Can you help me put this thing together? And I'm like, sure. I kind of just kind of like, came natural to me. I'm like, yeah, no problem. What do we need to do? And that's how we started to actually work together and got myself reacquainted with Ray Reese, and then the formal introduction with Steadman. And then Steadman and I have become good friends, business partners. We're working on some big stuff right now. And then we actually, when things kind of, right when we published my book, back in, and again, that's another story in itself. When we published my book back in March of 2020, who would have known, right? We were ramping up. We were gearing up for all the speaking engagements. I had a whole team. Everything was getting ready. COVID hits and the world gets shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Then going back.
We never had the official book launch party for it.
We never got to do the official book launch party. And So obviously it was one of those that we're going to revisit, and we're going to do something now that the world is California is reopening up, and we're going to go back to
I think you should.
Yeah, no, we're going to, and I think we should do a combination, a duo with now imagine 17 books that you've written after this one being published.
So there's something that I want to note, just to backtrack a little bit at the event with Steadman, right? So for those of you that don't know Mauricio, Mauricio has this energy. I don't know what it is. We talk about it in our mutual friends, but if he says, okay, if you jump off this building, you're going to fly, he's going to have a line of people jumping off the damn building. Okay. So we're at this party and here I am. I don't feel like, who am I to go approach Steadman, right? He has a circle of people around him, and Mauricio was trying to get to him to make introductions, and we couldn't really get to him. So we're standing in line for the auction thing, and Mauricio tells me, you know what, go up to him and introduce yourself right now. Just go up there right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think twice. Normal Shareen would be like, what the hell? No. But I went right up and I introduced myself, and then Mauricio went up, and I was like, man, this guy just helped me hella believe in myself right now. Wow. So Mauricio has that effect. And I think that's beautiful, and I think that people in general, right? When we're trying to elevate, when we're trying to evolve in life, I think the best thing that we can do is look at people have taken their life to the next level and just kind of watch how they function. And how is it that you make your decisions? How is it that you move, so that we can learn those things and apply it to our own life? And I think one of the biggest things that I have learned from you, amongst many things, but one of the biggest things that stick is to not think about things too long, just to take action.
Yeah. And that's have no fear. You can't have fear. And that's really what I want to pour into people. And is, people talk about things, that they say they want to do things, but they don't do them. Or they're afraid. And one of the things that I've learned at a very young age is, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15. It's part of the story, making my first million at 25, multimillionaire at 28, at in my 30s, losing it all, being homeless. And a lot of people they only see the highlights. They don't see
don't see the back end story.
No, they only see the outside, and they don't see the details and what happens behind the scenes. So for me, it was and by the way, I remember, I got to give this one to you. I got to give you credit for this one, because one day I was out after all this success and all these different things that I want to do. I came to you and I was bitching and complaining, crying, not near literally crying, but just fucking being a whiner. And my goals for people that are out there, my goals are to become one of the Latino billionaires out of the Silicon Valley through all the different businesses and all that. And really, it's not because I need those zeros in my bank account. It's because I want to be able to turn around and make an impact around the world, a global impact. And for me to set that bar so high, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of focus. And I remember one day I came whining to you, and you're like, what? Can you please stop? And I'm like, what? She says, you wanted to be a billionaire. Now you got those are billionaire problems. And I remember I felt like I just got slapped in the face, and I was like, and I shut up. I was like, you know what? You're right. Stop fucking crying.
Nothing is going to come easy. No. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it.
No. Exactly. So crazy stuff. By the way, Chandra Brooks, she's in the chat room right now. Hey, Chandra, what's up? Much love. She's one of your mentors. She's your mentor there. You've worked with her as well, and
Chandra is my first coach. She helped me really even understand how I could take ghostwriting and make it into a business, because I never even thought about it. I was just going to do Mauricio's book and stop, but she helped me really turn that into a vision and make my purpose into a business. So it's about really connecting and getting the support and help that you need.
Yeah, you have another friend in here, Honey Marie.
Oh yes, I love Honey. Yeah. Hey, Honey.
So she's in here, and I got to say, going back to Chandra really quick, Chandra's an amazing boss lady. She's a super boss lady. She her and I are going to be working together on some stuff. We've been working, on and off, and we have conversations. I'm a big supporter of what she does, and believe that I've seen her growth, and just recently with her successes and her how she rewards herself. She's going to go big places. She's already going big places.
Chandra's the founder of Powerhouse Academy, for
That's
those
right.
that are interested. And she helps people turn your vision and make it your full-time business, so that you don't have to work your 9 to 5, and you could be doing something that you enjoy and having the impact that you want to have in life.
Yeah, and I gotta give much love to Chandra. She got to witness, both of you got to witness some pretty crazy times.
But
in
see, that's what
transition.
happens though when you gain success, and I've seen it not just with many people, including myself. It's like you get that negative energy from other people that don't want to see you win. So Mauricio's book talks about like the mindset that it takes to really go take things to the next level, because there's always going to be people that try to bring you down. People that don't want to see you win, people that will go out of their damn way in life to make sure they can try to bring you down, right? And so it's like you've had those tools, you learned those tools from the young age, and I think that anybody can learn from that.
And again, I appreciate the fact that we're having a conversation here, guys. There's no script here. This is raw. This is live. We're live worldwide right now. I got a bunch of people that are jumping in the chat that I'll definitely respond back to you later on. And when I'll get back, I'll definitely one-on-one. I'll reply back to you guys. But I know it's not easy. It wasn't easy working with me, but we accomplished. That was a big goal. And what I realized is after we published my book and after working with Steadman and his team, I immediately started working on my second book, which was Decide, Commit, Execute. And that was with Kristen Andrus, who has worked with Steadman for 20 plus years. She's worked with him on a couple different books and projects. And she took on my project. And that was the fastest book that I've ever wrote. It was 1 weekend, but it was a full on, it was a full on immersion. It was, we started Friday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, finished sometime in the afternoon, early evening. And we started it again on Saturday morning. Same thing, early morning until the brain literally I just was dumping.
There's nothing else to empty out.
Right. And then we did it again on Sunday. And from early in the morning, because you start fresh, get rest, you start fresh in the morning and you completely burn out. And then we were done. I was completely exhausted. It was a business book. It was a business strategy book. So all the conversations I was engaged because it was business. So you can imagine me just super lit up, excited, just talking and pouring into it. And that book was written. We discussed it over 3 days, over a weekend. And then by the following week, it was ready. The first draft came out. And then after that, it was just about just rereading, cleaning up, and then putting it together. Mm-hmm. And you did an amazing job. Thank you. Because you put it.
Let's keep it all the way real. Let's talk about how Mauricio is not a walk in the park. Mauricio has a vision, okay? He has a vision, and you need to be able to live up to that vision. But I appreciated it, because like the design that you had in mind for that book, I was able to like play with that design in other books. Yeah. And I think that it was really bold. And it actually helped make the message pop out in each chapter.
Yeah, I have a copy of it right here.
Yeah.
Decide, commit, execute.
We talked about, like you said, you talked about when you were talking about this interview, like to tell people how they can go about writing a book. Yeah. So one thing I want to address is like with Mauricio's first book, Smoke and Mirrors. So the technique that we use to write his book is called the open loop technique. And that's when you start writing your story. Because a lot of people struggle, like, how do I write my story? Do I do chronological from childhood to adult? Like, how do I write my story? So an open loop technique, it's the technique that's used to show a story in a movie. And what it does is you write your book from the very bottom point of your life where you're the lowest of your low. And then you reflect back as to how you got there. And then you work your way forward. So that's the open loop. And then his second book, Decide, Commit, Execute, that book is like in a chunk style. So each chapter, each section is dedicated to a lesson. And then you talk about how he learned that lesson and how you can apply it to your own life. So there's different ways that you can block out your story and tell it effectively, just depending on what audience you're talking to.
So let me ask you, what are you working on now, and what are some of your projects? I mean, what style of have you from what you worked with me back then, and now writing 17 books later? By the way, congratulations. That's awesome. That's man, you've been a busy little bee over there. Share with us, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because people might be interested. I know that there's people here. I have one of our new partners right here, Ricky Cucalon from he's a great entrepreneur, big. We just partnered up. We're working on some deals, and I told him he's got to write his book and tell his story. I have a couple other people that
everybody needs to write their story.
Everybody needs to write their story. You're right. Everybody needs to
Les Brown says that the biggest, the saddest thing that he's ever heard is someone dying and no one ever knowing their story. And I think about that. We all have a story. It doesn't matter about our success or what we've done we all have a story. And our story is really our imprint that we're supposed to give back to the world. Our book is part of our legacy.
That's right. And that's why I'm not done. We're working on the next project, and we gotta get busy, because Chandra said right here, how come she hasn't started working on her second book with you? So she says, girl, we need to get busy.
I've been trying to tell you how many phone meetings have I been trying to schedule. You're too busy now, planning birthday parties and stuff.
Hey, by the way, did you sign up on the guest list for?
I RSVP'd. Okay. Right. I know I'm not that special where I can't just walk in.
Hey, no, come on now, stop it. For those of you that don't know, Friday will be my 45th birthday. I've aged very well, like a fine wine, by the way. So for those of you that would love to attend, just go to MauricioMejia45th.com and you can sign up on the guest list. It is ours.
Have you put out your Amazon gift wish list yet?
Oh yeah, it's in the link. So by the way, it's on the Eventbrite link. When you log on, it's on there. It's I wasn't gonna be.
Well, because we want to tell people you need to bring a gift. That was for his office. He has a new building, new office.
So it's kind of bringing a gift. It's an office warming party / birthday party / if you want to bring alcohol too, we'll have a bar stocked here for later. But again, tell us that on the books, have you changed your style on all you adapt and change as you write a book. You adapt.
I had to, in order to be able to write so many books simultaneously. And I also had to, I had to learn that to outsource. So that was a big thing for me that Chandra helped me with, was to outsource things, because I'm used to being in control of everything. So hiring writers is a whole other thing, because people think they can write and they can't. And but I've had to hire writers. But the other thing is I used to do things, it was a lot longer. For you, right? When we were writing your book, I was attending events with you. I was watching you interact with your friends and your associates to learn how you tell stories. But I don't have time to be doing that, right? So my meetings are just conducted through Zoom. But I also have learned different ways to take on, because when you are interacting with people in the way of writing their story, you're taking on a lot of their trauma. It's intense. I'm listening to trauma all day long, right? Yeah. And so to be able to process all that energy, it's energetically draining. So I had to really learn the tools. And my best friend, Jen, the Rainmaker, she helped me learn the tools to process that energy. But as for projects that I'm working on now, I've worked on projects for a judge in Santa Clara County. I've co-created a book with her. I also, I can't really be giving names out of people, but we know. So.
Hey, but I did give you a big one.
Yes, and that one is going to be coming out soon. I cannot wait. Seriously, I'm so excited about that.
That's a Silicon Valley.
It's a game changer.
Game changer, Silicon Valley tycoon.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, by the way. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so happy that you got to do that
It was
project.
an honor of a lifetime.
Yeah,
It changed my life. Like,
awesome.
to be sitting there in front of somebody who's gained so much success, who has had so much impact in the community, and I'm literally getting paid to get my cup poured into.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it's an
si-
honor.
it's part of Silicon Valley's transformation. That's how far back.
For sure.
I
For
mean,
sure.
the talking about Silicon Valley being the all orchards and farmland to what it is, the
Yeah.
metropolis that it is today. So
And just people being able to afford to live here. He has a lot to do with that.
good. Well, that again, so these projects have allowed you to pivot and to adapt to different
And
environments,
heal. And
and
heal, right?
okay.
Because you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with.
Share that. Share that.
Yeah.
Share that thought with there. The
I've
five
had
people that we
So
surround
I
ourselves.
feel like I have been very blessed, not only with the gift of being an empath, but I have been very blessed for people like you to be brought into my life to pour into my cup. So I feel like God uses my clients to pour into me and gives me access to people that I wouldn't really have access to. And so, like, in my sessions with my clients, it's not only them healing. I'm learning from people. I'm listening to people talk to me not only about their trauma, but things that they've learned from. And I get to take that with me, and I get to teach my kids that, and I get to change my life around that wisdom and lessons that are being poured into me. So it's a beautiful thing.
Share. What does that mean to have the 5 people you are, who you surround yourself with? What is that
Yeah, because
specifically? I mean, I know the version of you are who you surround yourself with. Show me
mhm.
your friends, I'll tell you what your habits are. Kind of
Birds
thing.
of a feather flock together.
There you go. They're all the different cliches. You
Yeah.
you hang around broke people, you'll be broke. You hang around rich people, you'll be rich. You hang around wealthy people. There's all different versions of that. But share what specifically, because you also mentioned earlier Jen the healer, and I got the honor to meet Jen and Jennifer. Jen or Jennifer? I mean, is
It's
it
Jen. She goes by Jen the Rainmaker, but it's
okay?
Jennifer. Yeah,
Okay.
her business is about manifesting your waking world through your dream state. And so a lot of people call it lucid dreaming, but her thing is taking it to the next level. And what it does is it really allows you to take control of the things that are controlling you at your core. So for a lot of us, right, well, our subconscious controls all of our decisions, everybody. But of a lot of us, our subconscious has been molded by the trauma that we've experienced in childhood and in our adult lives. But when you're able to heal that in you at a subconscious level, then you're able to really have full control of your world and your waking reality. So it not only taught me the tools I needed to handle so much things energetically from clients and deal with my own trauma, but it's helped me take control, like full control of my life and create my dream world. So her business is called Dream You University. It's www.jentherainmaker.com.
We'll make sure to put that in the comments section so that
Shout
we
out.
can. Yeah, there you go. Hey, this is the only time you get to do free shout outs on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here to help each other all out, and we're here to help
Mm-hmm.
elevate everyone's game. And again, this is how we pay it forward. So, a couple other things. I mean, so going through these different projects that you've worked on, how do you you said healing. How do you see the other person as well when they're going through their process? I mean, you've written short books and you've written big books. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
is it share a little bit about that? Some of the techniques
So
behind all of that.
yeah, so for me, like, one thing that I really recognize is a lot of people, most of us, we know our story, right? In our mind, we know it. But a lot of us haven't experienced vocally expressing it to another person, right? And so I have witnessed, because you even said like our sessions are a lot like therapy sessions.
Yeah.
I witnessed that emotion of clarity, of like liberation that people experience when they're saying their story out loud to another person for the first time. And as people are talking about their story, they're remembering a lot of things that have been swept under that mental rug in our mind. And it's like they gain this whole new perspective and clarity on themselves, you know. And it's like, it's almost like looking at yourself in the mirror. When you can see yourself clearly, you're able to fix what needs to be fixed. And so that's what, you know, sharing your story does. It's like it helps you clear the mirror a little bit so you can see yourself clearly.
We know that, well, I know that writing is not the only thing that you're involved in. You also have a show that you've produced, Rising
It's
Above.
been on hold for a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
because of COVID.
right. Well, COVID put the brakes on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And now that we're reopening the world here, at least here in California, tell us a little bit about that show, because I know I was one of your first guests on
You were.
on the show, and I enjoyed it because you got to ask some pretty hard questions as well, and I just enjoyed it. Tell us about what's going
So
on
my
with the
whole
show.
intention behind the show, so it was aired on Comcast in Santa Clara County, and it was until COVID going to be aired on, you know, in other counties in California. But my whole intention was I recognized not only how rare, but the beauty in the fact that I have been able to have access to such successful, powerful people that have these rich stories that are so full of wisdom. And I wanted to be able to bring that to other people because I know how it changed my life. And I wanted to create a platform to bring these people on so that they could share their story and their wisdoms for, you know, the single mom at home like myself, who's just sitting at home taking care of her children, and give that hope and plant those seeds and let people know that it's possible, because most of the people that I interact with have been able to create something out of nothing. And so I think that people need to have access and need to hear that, you know.
Got it. So what's the future holding for the show?
I haven't really told anybody, you know, about it, but the show is going to start again later this year, and I have a lot of interesting guests that I'm about to bring on, so I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming back, do a follow up to the original.
For sure, you already know.
All right. Well, good. Any is it anytime soon, or we're looking at towards the fall or the winter? November. All right. So winter 2021, right before we go into so I'm predicting that we're gonna wrap up 2021 strong, and then 2022 is gonna
2022 ain't ready for us. Okay,
no,
let's just put that out there.
2022 is what it's going to be the Roaring 20s, and
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm starting to plan for a New Year's 2022 Roaring 20s theme.
That's
party
cool. I like that
for New Year. So we're working on that. That I've already put that out to the universe. It's already happening. It's in motion, and it's on. But so let me ask you, community wise and paying it forward. I mean, you're writing, you're in tune with people. I know that you do speaking engagements as well. How do you get back, and how do you get involved with the community? I mean, obviously with COVID, I didn't mean to cut you off, but with COVID, I know they kind of froze things. But I know you're an advocate though of a lot of different, well, not a lot, but of certain types of organizations or certain movements. What are some of the things that you're involved with for community?
One thing I'm really focused on right now is working with the youth. So one thing that I found, you know, at the school that both of us spoke at, and just other clients that I have worked with that have connected me with teens that they know, is that the youth more than ever have a need to be heard, especially the experiences that they've had through COVID and not being in school. And I know that if somebody gave me the opportunity as a teenager to become an author and share my story, how that would have totally rerouted my journey. Right? If I had experienced that healing and that liberation and felt purposeful, through my experiences. So I am working with 3 to 4 youth teenagers right now, and I'm helping them write their story, and my company is going to publish their story. And I'm trying to get my company into the schools so that I can have a class of maybe 10 kids and teach them how to write their story, and then my company do that for them, and like schools hold like a book launch for the children, because I know
That's
that
awesome.
there's healing and sharing, right?
Yeah.
And like we need to teach our kids this.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And that's and you're right. I mean, imagine children that at a young age, all they want to do is be out playing and being
Mm-hmm.
social, and they're locked up, cooped up in their homes,
And
and
abusive homes in a lot of cases,
and
homes where
abuse.
they're being neglected,
Yeah.
no food,
Wow.
and they have stories.
Yeah. That's I mean, it takes me back because now you're peeling layers, and those are the traumas again that as youth that a lot of adults have experienced, and then now it's the future of our the future adults, or the future people, of America, of the world
Mm-hmm.
is going through that still, and it just blows my mind. And I'm really happy. I know that you also published a book. You have children. I don't know if you want to share with the world, but I know
Of
you also
course.
did. You published a children's book as well, haven't you? I mean, I think that you worked on that as well.
So I helped my son write his first book when he was 6. It was
That's
like a short little book. And what it was my son used to be really scared in the dark, like a lot of kids, but he battled with that. And so, I was trying to figure out like, how can I help my kids sleep in the dark at night? And I was like, well, how did I get through my things? Well, my thing was like helping people with it. So we sat down and he wrote a little book to other kids. I told him, I was like, to help other kids how to sleep in the dark. And so he wrote his little book. He had a little book launch at his elementary school at the time. He was 6. And so that was my first kids book. But since then, I have helped co-create another children's book, and I'm working on 3 other children's books. So
That's awesome. So not only working on crazy life stories like mine and big Silicon Valley tycoons, but you've also dived into the children's world. How do you see that as an impact on children? Based on the books that you're writing. I mean, obviously your son, that book was something that he used as a coping mechanism or something to share with others.
mhm.
How do you see some of the books that you're working on right now affecting some of the children for the future?
Mm, I always imagine, like, when I think about a book, right? I
Uh,
think about what will happen to that book when I'm gone, right? Who
mm,
might run across that book or pick it up, an old copy at a library or at a used bookstore, and like how beautiful it is to think that like a message that I'm writing right now might be planted in someone's mind in the future. And so I look at it that way.
nice, nice. Well, what else? What else? Other hard questions can I ask here? We've gone through the process, of writing a book. Anything you want to share with the world? What do you?
Yeah, for sure. I always
Yeah,
have something to share.
some advice. How to not only for women, but you don't hold your tongue back. I know you know how to put.
It's a problem sometimes.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I mean, even with me, we're friends, and I'm like, whoa, did she just come at me that way? I mean, I I I appreciate it because I get the perspective, and it registers in the back of my mind. And we have a good friend, Marshall Jones, out there. I know he's watching. Marshall, we we've had some interesting conversations, and you're pretty vocal, and you give some some good reality feedback. I want to call it.
Thank
What,
you.
what what's some of the advice that you would give to women out there, to men? But let's focus on the women first. What
Yeah.
what is some of the
Well,
advice
I'm
you
going
would
to
give?
just focus on women and men
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
because one thing that I want to talk about is like just sitting here, right, talking to you. It brings me back to where I started and the progress as to where I am today, right?
Mhm.
Being able to just work from home, dictate my calendar, work with people like you, and how I could never have even thought about doing that back in 2017, 2016. And it's only been 5 years. So like my message to
Wow.
people, yeah,
Oh,
my
wow.
message, my message to people is like, understand what your purpose is. I think that it starts with that. And if you don't know what your purpose is, start getting curious and chase your curiosities. Right. So for me, like, I always loved writing. I always had a passion for writing. And that was something that I always just did. Right. And curious as to what I can create with my words. But if you don't know what your purpose is, like, get curious and start taking that curiosity serious, because I truly believe it's in our purpose that we have the ability to create the life that we really want inside of us, and get clarity on what that is. Because I think that none of us should be working a job, and you and I have talked about this. None of us should be working a job that we hate to get up in the morning to go to, right? That you're stuck in traffic and you dread getting to that place. None of us should have to experience that. We should all wake up in the morning and feel energized and excited about what we are doing with our life. Because I don't believe, and I know you don't believe, that we were born and put on this earth to do something that we hate every single day just to put food on the table.
Absolutely, 100%. Uh, that's just the way I've been operating since I was 15. I mean, I knew that I wanted more in my life. I wanted to do better, bigger, bolder things, and I knew that my purpose on this planet wasn't to play it small or safe. It was to take big risks, play big, and do great things. And for me, though, I always, in the book we talk about it. There's pre 2008 Mauricio, and there's post 2008 Mauricio. And post 2000, I love post 2008 Mauricio because it's more about giving back to the world and making a bigger impact than before, when I was just so ego driven.
You were being molded.
Yeah, it was.
You were being molded.
I was, and that's okay. We all go through it until we reach that breaking point, or that tipping point in our lives, because nothing is forever. That's a fact. Nothing in life is forever. Relationships aren't forever. Jobs aren't forever. Certain, but just there's a reason for things that for people when they come into your lives, and there's a reason why they're out of your lives. We got to continuously evolve and change, and for the better. And some people go for the worse, but we eventually will figure it out. And I feel at this point in my life, I mean, I'm super excited. I mean, I'm celebrating life. Every day I celebrate life. On Friday I'll be celebrating the 45th year of me being alive, and thank God. And I'm excited to share with the people that are going to be here, with friends, family, colleagues, and important people. And for me, I'm just very blessed and grateful every day. And you're right. And that's what I implant in everybody that I surround myself with. And I'm hoping that they pick it up and that they do something with it. Because again, Shareen, we can talk about it, but if you don't if you don't commit to what we talk about, and you don't take any action, it does nothing. And that's something that you did.
And if you don't realize that everybody is scared. Yeah. We all have fear. We are all scared. We're all out here running around scared, taking action, right? Yeah. Because change doesn't happen unless you put action behind it, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah, 100% accurate, and you're right. So, so what I've learned to do, and I've conditioned myself, is to turn that fear into what I call rocket fuel. And yes. when what I've done is I've used that fear of doing something or what will happen, and I'm like, you know what, fuck this. I live on this planet once. I'm here once, and why not wake up every day and live it to the fullest, roll the dice every day, as long as it's with clarity, it's with a purpose, it's with direction. Because if you think you're going to roll the dice every day and hope, man, I mean, hope it could be a good fuel, but if you're 100% hope, depending on hope, then you're just going to set yourself up for failure.
I just want to go to bed at night knowing that I did my very best. Woo! Right? Like, that's my goal. Like, every night I want to know, like, I really did give it my all today. And wow. I'm not just talking about like business. I'm talking about life. Yeah. Like, I gave it my very best. My very best is being a mom, my very best in my business, and just my very best to Shareen.
Wow. Powerful. For everyone that's listening out there and watching, that's powerful right there. If that didn't resonate, you really should go look in the mirror right now and look at yourself and say, am I happy with where I'm at today? Am I happy with who I'm looking at myself in the mirror at? And if the answer is no, then it's time to peel those layers, and it's
Find out
time to,
why.
yeah, find out why, and it's really to take action. And for me, again, going back to writing Smoke and Mirrors, that was the most therapeutic experience of my life. You cannot go to a therapist or to a counselor, whatever they call that you want to call them, to go to experience a real transformational change. For me, writing the book was the best thing, and that now I understand why they say, people should journal every day, is to process and write what they experience. Now I'm guilty of it. I don't do it, but I do know
get
that
it now.
I get it, and I do other things before I go to sleep every night, and I know that when I go to sleep at peace with myself, so that if I wake up the next day, it's another blessing. It's another thing to be very grateful for, and it gives me the opportunity again to give it 100 million% of me, of my all, and that I'm looking at the people that I look at on a daily basis. I touch and have conversation with, that I make an impact in their life to make them a better person, and really pour into them, because that's important to me. And a lot of great things have happened. Shareen, you've seen it. You've seen a lot of the transformations.
I'm really proud of you, Mauricio.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No, I am.
I appreciate that, and there's a lot of great things that are going to happen.
Just for you to be on here, giving this opportunity. No,
yeah,
you're a very busy person. You're not making money off this show.
No,
you're doing this show, this time, and creating this platform for people just to give back in the community, in the world. I think it's a beautiful thing. So I'm really proud of you.
And thank you. And part of this show was created during the time. This time last year, we were locked up. We were in full-on shelter in place,
creating something out of nothing.
Yeah, and it was I needed to find a way, and actually this time last year, I had already kicked off the show, Mauricio Mejia Live. I had done the Smoky Mirrors. After the way we started, that was a chapter a day. I talked about it was Mauricio Smoky Mirrors every daily, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks, I thought, after we get out of this quarantine stuff, we'll go back to normal life.
Everyone, we thought it was only going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then woo, crazy. And then I figured, I'm like, well, I better keep myself mentally busy here, because this is not gonna end anytime soon. And that's how we created. I created Mauricio Mejia Live, and now. Thing. Yeah, no, and I've had some amazing. And
guests. I've noticed too, how it's really helped you with your speaking too.
Yes, every once in a while, I got a potty mouth, but it's okay.
It's okay. We'll keep it all the way real. It ain't right if it's not real.
Oh man. Anyway, Shareen, listen. I know I want to be mindful of your time. I know that you've taken some time out of your day and your evening, and I know you're enjoying yourself right now, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Me on, Mauricio.
Yeah, no, it's an honor. It's a pleasure. And I'm looking forward to finishing 2021 strong and kicking off 2022 stronger. And we got to sit down and really get our stuff dialed in for, Smoky Mirrors 2. Smoky Mirrors. Smoky Mirrors 2, or I think we
already have the title for the other one. We're not doing Smoky Mirrors 2.
It's Still Standing. That's
Still Standing. Yes.
Still Standing, and I'm looking forward to putting that. It's going to be the sequel to Smoky Mirrors, so it's going to be a combination. That's going to be movie. It's going to be movie number 2. So hey. I know that there's a lot of great things ahead for us. And again, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here this evening and sharing with the world ghostwriting, being a boss lady, CEO, founder, rising above. I mean, you got your TV show. I mean, hey, you're just big boss lady over here. Tell us, where can people get a hold of you if they want to reach out?
Well, I'm on all social media platforms under Shareen Rivera, but you could also email me at contactme@ShareenRivera.com, and then my website, which is ShareenRivera.com.
We'll make sure to drop that on the comments section so that people can get a hold of you. And let me ask you, I mean, with your busy schedule, how quick are you to get back to people?
Usually within 24 hours, I get a
Okay.
response. Yeah.
So you're on top of it. You got your assistants there,
I live
have
in my emails. Yes, I
there
got a VA.
there you go. There you go. So
You have to.
well, good. Thank you for taking the time again. Is there anything else you want to share with the world? I mean, I'm not trying to take you off here. I just, it's
No,
going.
it's okay. No, I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I just, even one thing I do want to emphasize is I think that sometimes people can feel a little intimidated and are intimidated, even the thought about publishing a book and everyone having access to their story. But I've even helped people write books with the intention of just writing it and only printing one copy for themselves and not publishing it for the world, because
Wow.
there's healing and sharing. And like, you can create what we call a legacy book for you just to keep for your family to pass down.
There you go. And
Mhm.
that's what the intent was of my book, but I really wanted to do it more beyond sharing it just with
Oh
family.
yeah, plant
I wanted to
seeds.
share it with the world and plant seeds. So
Hmm.
anyhow, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
again, taking your time, and I will see you on, excuse me, on Friday. Make sure that dress to impress. It's going to be a fun party. Starts at 5 o'clock. We're doing the VIP red carpet, and there's going to be a lot of great people, a lot of great friends, and I'm looking forward to sharing that special day with you and your guests. And your friends and my friends and everybody here. It's going to be a good time. So,
Thank you for having
again,
me on, Mauricio.
Shareen Rivera, Ghostwriter, CEO, and made my dream come true of publishing my first and second book. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful and blessed to have you in my life. Thank you, Shareen.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening.
Okay, bye.
All right. Another great guest tonight, Shareen Rivera. You can catch her on ShareenRivera.com, and Ghostwriter, CEO and founder of Rising Above. Amazing human being, very involved in the community. Now I'm expecting it to be even bigger because again, we're opening up and getting back to the new normal here in California. We're going to see how things develop, and super excited. Again, thank you so much. We're doing this. We're getting back into the groove of things. Every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East. It's Mauricio Mejia Live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. And next week, I get the honors to share this platform with a good friend of mine. He was an industry colleague at one point in the entertainment industry, is into real estate development, and has published a book which, by the way, amazing book. Look it up. It's called Developing a Wealthy Mindset by Joel Wildrick. And Joel is Joel. Wildrick is Wylrick. And the name of his book is Developing a Wealthy Mindset. And he will be here next week sharing what does it take to build some serious wealth. And we'll see if he shares what kind of wealth he's built over the years. I know that, again, a big player here in Silicon Valley, and I'm looking forward to having him here to share his story with us. And again, just looking forward to being back. I got a lot of special great guests that are going to be coming on the show. We got Ricky Cucalon is going to be on the show, entrepreneur, big in the binary options, crypto world. He's super big. We're talking about in the millions of dollars in that space. Going to be having a special guest artist. Justin is going to be on the show. And I know towards the end of the month, we're going to be having Raul Perales, who is our current council member here in San Jose, who is now running for mayor of city of San Jose, third largest city in California, 10th largest economy in the U.S. San Jose is man, it's amazing, crazy times, amazing times. There's a lot of it coming up, so I'm looking forward to sharing this with you guys on a weekly basis. Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined. I will make sure to comment, reply, and get back to you guys as soon as we're off the show. So again, thank you so much, you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you to my entire team for making things happen.